in the classroom. As educators, using technology in the classroom is an important aspect of our teaching today. Our students need to have an understanding of how media is used, as well as how they can create media. The first part of this is about using media in the classroom: computers, music, video, email, and even the internet. All these different types of technology are important for educators to use in our classrooms. Of course, this varies from age group to age group, and different technology is essential in different ways. We cannot deny that our students need to know how to use various technology. At a very young age, children are given tablets and iPads to use and to watch. They watch video games and they play videos and they watch their shows. Of course, this varies from household to household, but this practice of using these different technologies must transfer over into the classroom. And like I mentioned before, different technologies are used at different levels, whether we are talking about lower or upper, elementary, middle school, and even high school. Students need to know how to use technology effectively in order to become successful users of technology. We can't expect our young people to be given a smartphone or a cell phone at whatever age they might happen to get one and know how to automatically use those devices productively. One of the most important ways we need to educate our young people is through evaluation. One of the ways we do that is evaluating websites for information. We need to teach them that websites are good and look at different various elements of who publish these websites, what's the agency, what are their values, what are many other factors that are important to look at. Of course, this varies from age to age and looks differently for, let's say, example, second grade classroom versus a high school classroom. But it's an essential component of teaching our young people how to use the internet effectively. Another way that we need to teach our students is how images work, how we can create images, how we can manipulate images, whether it's adding something to an image that already exists or using images to create things like infographics. It's not just showing them infographics, but how do we create these so that students have a better understanding of what they are looking at when they are looking at images? We are a very image-based society, and so we need to have an understanding that images are all around us. We need to be able to understand how images impact us. Using visual images in the classroom is essential for helping our students better understand what they are reading and learning. Images can be used in a positive way to teach children how to see deeper and look deeper at the visuals that are all around them, which can include things like photographs, posters, videos, advertisements, anything that comes in a visual form. Within our society, propaganda is all around us and is often used against us daily. Advertisements are one of the biggest forms of propaganda that is used to convince viewers to purchase something that they probably don't need. And so being able to show our students how images work and how we need to read images is important. Other types of images that teachers can use in the classroom are things like comics, graphic organizers, infographics. Google Classroom has something called Google Draw, where students can create webs, they can create Venn diagrams and other types of mapping activities. Yes, of course, this can be done on paper, and always paper has its benefits, but because we live in a society where computer technology is asking more and more of us, we need to learn how to use these technologies that are online and teach our students how to use them as well. Another form of technology that can work to help our students understand how to use various websites and applications are places where they can learn to write. So if we're talking about younger students, they can use some of these websites for handwriting practice. If we're talking about drafting and pre-writing, there are many websites that are available to us to help them learn how to do those activities. There are websites that are available for editing and revising, and some of these websites are fantastic because they have an element to them where you can get real time um, feedback. Um, a lot of us seem like Google Classroom is the go to for this, which is great using Google Docs. And there's benefits to have something like Google Classroom, which is very inclusive in their software. And it's necessary to compose in their using mainly Google Docs, but there are other places on the internet that teachers can look to help their students when they are learning how to write and when they are going through the writing process. I've listed some places here that are great resources for teachers to look at. One of the drawbacks of some of these is that um, they do have to be paid for. So you have to get your districts on board to pay for these sites, and you have to make a case that they are good. This is what makes Google Classroom a more approachable resource. That some doesn't have the cost that some of these other places do that are going to be used in the classroom. So you have to do some research about these various websites in order to make a case for using them in your classroom. So being that they're interactive and that students can get real-time feedback, that's a positive for some of these. It's important in when teaching writing because students need that feedback to be able to see the point and purpose of revision and editing. That's a big part of the writing process. Another part of it is talking about publishing, the aspect of writing, because students oftentimes feel that their writing is just done for class and nobody looks at it other than the teacher. And when they see that there's an audience for their writing, it's really important because it gives them a purpose to their writing. Another element that I think many teachers shy away from is social media. However, today our young people, especially in middle school and high school, are constantly on social media and using social media in a variety of ways. Social media does have benefits in the classroom, and as long as it's used in an educational and productive way, it can be a great resource. I'm just going to primarily talk about the use of video in regards to social media at the current time. But places like YouTube and TikTok and Instagram are great places to use and create video. It's a great resource for teachers where they can YouTube, you can post videos, students can comment on those videos, have a conversation with each other and their teachers about the content of those videos. Instagram is another resource that can be used. Many schools do have Instagram accounts where they post what's happening in their schools or in their district. It's not as interactive as some other social media accounts or celebrity accounts where students will post and follow. But Instagram can be a great way where teachers can post content and have students post as well and comment and so forth. Now, TikTok, I believe, is controversial. TikTok is seen as negative, and some people don't understand TikTok, but there's a lot of great information on TikTok. The video that I've posted is of a high school teacher. Her name is Emily. She's a social studies teacher, and when I first started following her, she would post a lot about various topics related to social studies. Specifically, she was posting to young people who took the AP social studies exams and how to be successful on those AP exams, tips, tricks, content, so forth. But she posts about history, economics, politics, current events, and so forth. Many of her videos are very informative. The specific one here that I've posted is about a current event, and that is about the halftime show at the 2025 Super Bowl with Kendrick Lamar. And she approaches the halftime show content from a historical aspect. which is really interesting because a lot of her content, of course, is directly related to what students should be learning in social studies and how that relates to today, how our modern culture is a direct reflection on the past. And she makes those connections, and it's fantastic. And so I follow her, and I find her very informational and informative. And one of the great things that she talks about is checking her, meaning she doesn't say, I'm saying this and I am the ultimate expert, but yet go and check out what I'm saying. And so that's really an important aspect of what she's doing here on TikTok. Now, I do understand that some teachers are hesitant using social media, and there are places where they can go to use a social media type of technology that has that social media feel, but yet is still more self-contained and not out there for everybody to see, like TikTok. So, for example, Emily's anti-social studies is public, but if you don't want to use things like TikTok or Instagram or YouTube, because you do have to be careful what you post and where you post from. And so that's really important aspect of some of these social media platforms. But a couple examples is Fan School, and it's kind of a portfolio type social media place where students can post and comment and so forth. You also have Blogger, which is a blog site where students can blog and write, and other people can comment and give feedback. Canva is great if you have a subscription at your school or can advocate for one, where students can create documents, they can create videos, they can create social media type of videos or sites and things like that. They can create websites and so forth, and or print media as well. And so it's kind of this all-inclusive website where students can create and explore. I have used Canva to have students create videos, and we talked about advertisements with video. And I talked to them about, where would you see this video being posted? Where would you want your ad being posted? And so they had the opportunity to create an Instagram video ad or something that might go on YouTube and so forth. And so they were able to create these videos in kind of an experimental way and create these ad campaigns. So it was a great way to have them figure out how to create advertisements using video. Another great resource is podcasts. I've mentioned, or I've listed here, Gen Z Media, where they have tons and tons of podcasts that are for anyone in elementary up through high school for students to listen to, where they're available and they can discuss and they can learn and they can listen. So it's the listening aspect. There's no video, and so it's a different type of literacy that they're learning here. But then students can create their own podcasts as well. So you can talk about them in the context of, how do you put together a podcast? How do you tell a story to an audience where you grab their attention? And that goes back to looking at the websites where you can have students begin writing and editing and revising and so forth, and then make that something they do a reader's theater, and then they publish in that way as well. So it doesn't have to be one specific way. They don't have to necessarily just write for a blog. They can write to perform and so forth. So the whole point of doing all of this is so that our students have an understanding of how these technologies that are everywhere around them, that they can use them, that is productive for them. I understand that one of the biggest issues in education in regards to technology is that technology progresses so much faster than teachers can keep up with the technology in the classroom. Some of this is because teachers don't want to use technology. Some is because there's so much advanced multimedia technology and so little time that teachers can't always use various technology in the classroom. However, we need to teach our students how to use technology in a productive, educational, and respectful way. Students are going to use the technology. They're going to create. They want to create. They have this desire to create using video and audio and social media and so forth. And so it is up to us to make sure that they have an outlet for that. It is up to us to create an environment where students learn that literacy is reading books, but it's also reading websites, being able to evaluate those websites where our interaction is just not in person, but also over the internet as well. Students need to learn how to write emails, create videos. They need to learn how to post on social media in a way that is thoughtful and thought-provoking. We need to give them choices in how they present information and give them choices on what information they choose to present. They are digital citizens, and as such, it is our responsibility to show them how to be productive in this digital world, as well as the physical world. If we show them videos, we need to show them how to make them. If we show them images, we need to show them how to make images. If we have them listen to podcasts or audio files, we need to show them how to make those as well. What we also need to do is give ourselves grace when we are teaching these different technologies. Because a lot of times we find these technologies and we show them to our students and we really don't have any training. Not every district focuses on the technology in the same way, and not every district is going to give money to train their staff on how to use these different technologies. If you are a teacher who is gung-ho about technology and wants to try it in your classroom, be open to sharing it with other teachers and supporting them. Not everybody is tech savvy, and not everybody enjoys technology in the same way. But one of the great things about educators is that when they find something that works and that they enjoy using in their classroom, they're open to sharing that with other teachers. And that is one of the aspects that I truly love about teaching.